So if this video found you, just know that you are on your way to your biggest rebrand yet, and I'm so excited for you.
First time in a long time, hurting deeply inside.
Hi babes, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chelsea. If you're new here, I do lifestyle, beauty, and fashion content. I also talk about how to become your best self. So if this video found you, just know that you are on your way to your biggest rebrand yet. And with that being said, I am so excited for you because you're about to glow up so much that you become unrecognizable in 2025. And I'm gonna give you the tips on exactly how to do that. If you are new here, you may not have known that I have been working on my glow up. My glow up journey has been a roller coaster and I am still on the ride, okay? Because I'm being so intentional about 2025, I want to share some of the tips that I'm going to be doing so that I can become unrecognizable and literally shock everyone, because that's exactly what it's going to give, okay? From the look to the mindset to the body, I want to become my best self. So hopefully these tips resonate with you and you are able to take them with you and become your best self in 2025. This video will be posted in December, but if you catch it in January or whenever you catch it in 2025, start your glow up journey immediately because your future self will thank you, I promise. The first tip that I have for you when you're doing a rebrand is to focus on yourself, okay? Cut out all distractions. That's currently the journey that I'm on. I literally have been on this journey for the past 7 months. If you saw my first video, that was the beginning of my glow up journey for myself. I will tag the video in the cards just in case you missed it. But with that being said, I have been taking the time to focus on myself within the last few months. And just being transparent here, glowing up is not always gonna be pretty. Okay, glowing up, you're gonna have your highs, you're gonna have your lows, and that's something that I have definitely experienced on this journey. So you need to also mentally prepare for that. Just allow yourself to be on the journey, okay? So allow yourself to focus on you and really focus on what you truly want in this season. And you have to be very intentional with this. And that's something I can speak to as far as myself. I am definitely being intentional with my thoughts, because I did have a brief moment, you guys. You probably have noticed I haven't been posting as much. This is just me being transparent, because one thing about my channel, I want you guys to also know, like, I'm not perfect and your journey may not be perfect either. And sometimes you have to take time to yourself to really recalibrate, really focus on what you want. And that is gonna help you propel to the next goal, because your leveling up journey may be up and it may be down sometimes. And that comes with the process. Like, you're gonna take time, you're gonna have those highs and lows. You're gonna have those times where things are really working out for you, and you have those times where life is really challenging and testing you to see how you respond. And sometimes you have to take a step back, even feel the emotions that you feel, and just recalibrate, regroup, and get yourself back in the game. With that being said, my main tip for your rebrand is to focus on yourself. That would be my #1 tip, so that you can really focus on what you want, how you're going to get there. And #3, actually being intentional with those steps. That is going to help you on your rebrand journey. When it comes to focusing on yourself, you have to take time to be okay, to be in a silent moment, okay? Everything may seem super quiet. Just know growth is happening in the background, okay? So you don't have to always be in the chaos. You don't always have to be out and about or be seen. Sometimes it's cool to take a step back and say, hey, I'm just gonna regroup. I'm just gonna take some time to myself, because this is a me game. It's so important to take time to grow in silence. And what I mean by that is, don't tell anybody about this glow up journey. I highly recommend you do your rebrand in silence, because sometimes when you talk about what you want to do, sometimes we don't get it done. Sometimes we have naysayers or people that don't believe in our dream or don't believe in our vision. So sometimes it's the best thing that you can do is be quiet, okay? And that's something that I have learned throughout this year, is just to be quiet. Work in silence, because sometimes you have so many thoughts and ideas. You may discourage your own self by sharing it so much. So keep those intimate moments to yourself, because that is also gonna help you along your journey. Sometimes when you're on this journey, you may feel as if you're starting from zero. And if you are watching this video and you feel like, okay, I'm starting from literally scratch, this is the perfect opportunity for you to show up and show out, okay? This is the perfect opportunity for you to actually show up and do the things that you said that you were gonna do. This is also the perfect opportunity for you to keep those promises to yourself. It's just that serious. I say this all the time in my videos, the same way you expect other people to keep their promises to you. You have to show up for you. That's the only way things are going to happen for you. You have to show up for you. So when you're in the process of focusing on yourself, believe that you can, okay? You have to be your biggest support system. You really have to tell yourself, I believe in me, and actually act like you believe in yourself. You can't say, I want this thing, and then you don't act like you want this thing, okay? You have to believe in yourself, believe that it's possible. Even if you feel like you're starting from zero, even if you don't have the funds to do so, start somewhere, okay? Whether it's journaling, whether it's today, buying yourself a notebook. Even it doesn't have to be the most expensive notebook. Buy yourself a notebook, write down and decide what it is that you actually want and actually believe that you can get it. If something came to you as a thought, just know that it can actually happen for you. So keep that in mind as you're focusing on yourself. That would be my main tip to your rebrand journey, is focus on you and actually decide what you want and show up as that. Speaking of being specific about your goals, my second tip would be scripting. Scripting is going to be an important key part in your rebrand journey, because you're actually writing out what you want and write it out as if it's already happened. That is another important key with your rebrand journey. You want to write it down as if it already happened. Don't say I wish for this or I would like this. Actually write it as if it already came to pass, okay? I know at the end of this month, before the 31st, I'm going to be writing a letter to myself of all the things that I want to accomplish for 2025. And I may read that letter with you guys at the end of 2025 to see if we actually reach those goals. The thing is, you have to believe in your own delusion. Don't ask for things that you feel like are only within reach. The things that you want for yourself, think 10 times bigger. Okay, think big. That's the goal for 2025. We're gonna be thinking big. Don't think small. Don't think about what you think could happen or what you think you've done in the past. I'm not saying ask for $1 million in January. Have a bit of delusion when you're writing your goals, because it also helps you understand and helps you maximize the idea of what could happen. Because sometimes the things that we feel like are within reach, God has a whole different plan. And also when you're scripting, don't be vague. Don't be vague about what you want. Be very detailed. That's why I said being intentional and actually sitting down with yourself and actually deciding like, hey, this is what I want and this is how I'm going to show up in this space is very important in order for you to reach your goals. Because you can't say, oh, I want a car. What kind of car? Because before you know it, you may get something that you do not want. So you have to be very specific on what you want. I want a home. You have to even be specific about the type of home you want, the area, how many bedrooms are in that home, how many bathrooms are in that home, what does the outside look like. Envision yourself there. Speaking of visualization, that can help you shift into this new you, okay? Envision, what does she feel like? What does she look like? Or if you're a guy watching this, what does he look like? What are his activities? What are her activities? What does she do on a daily basis? What does she talk about? What are her conversations like? Does she travel? Does she go to the coffee shops? What does she do to set herself apart? Think about those things and be very specific. Allow your mind to take it there, because sometimes we close our minds off, or sometimes we feel like, oh, well, I've only seen this, or everybody around me is only doing this, so I don't know if that is even possible for me. Think big. Find an online mentor, somebody that's actually living the life that you want to live, and see what they do. See where they frequent. Think about the things that they do in their day-to-day, not copy them. That is a difference. You don't want to copy someone. You don't want their life or be jealous or be envious, but use that as inspiration for the place that you want to get. If it's possible for them, they are. I say this all the time in my videos, you guys. I am just as human as you are. Any of your favorite YouTubers or your favorite influencers or your favorite girls are just as human as you are. So if they are capable and able to reach their goals, why not you? That's exactly what you're gonna say every time you have those doubting thoughts come into your mind. Why not me? This person was able to get where they got to. Of course, yeah, everybody's circumstances are different. Some people don't start from zero. Some people come from a good home background. Some people don't have trauma. Some people don't experience certain things, which is also true. There's facts in everything. You have to decide like, hey, if they were able to attain it, I'm going to do everything I can for me to show up in the best way possible, because that is going to allow me to even just do and experience different things that you've never experienced. I know in this next year, I said I want to give myself the entire year to get myself where I want to be. Even on YouTube, like I've always given myself space to like, hey, I'm gonna take a break. No breaks, babes. You don't have time to take breaks, okay? You don't have time to take breaks. You got goals. You have things that you want to accomplish, so you have to show up. You have to also take accountability in this process as well. So we'll get into that. But you have to visualize where you want to be. Script it, write it down, be very detailed, because that is going to be a major key in your rebrand. Speaking of acting like the person that you want to become, you have to change your mindset. mindset, okay? If you are that girl that's pessimistic, or you're always talking negative, or you're always thinking about the what if, or I'm broke, I don't have this, I don't have that, and that's the type of energy that you put out, even just me saying that, like saying I'm broke is crazy. There's so much power in the tongue, and we don't even realize it. Sometimes I even have to watch myself, like the little things I may ask for during the day, I may get it, but it may not be exactly what I wanted because I didn't say it correctly, okay? You have to make sure that you speak life into your life. Okay? Nobody else's job to do that. And that's something that you have to come to understand. No one is coming to save you, okay? You have to save yourself. At the end of the day, the work is on you. Okay, you have to do the inner work. You have to take time to be with yourself, sit with yourself, and shift those negative thoughts if you found yourself having a lot of negative thoughts. You have to change the story that you've been telling yourself. If you've been telling yourself that nothing ever works out for me, guess what? Nothing will ever work out for you. You have to change your mindset and change the story that you've been telling yourself, because you are the author. Nobody else is writing your chapters out for you. Nobody else is saying like, hey, this is what's going to happen in your life. The thing is, a lot of the time, our own thoughts, our own actions influence where we go. You have autonomy, and that means that you can do whatever you decide to do, okay? Sometimes our decisions aren't the best, and that's not for you to beat yourself up about it or say like, oh, you know, I'm so stupid or nothing works out for me. No, this was a learning lesson, but you know that you don't want to learn that lesson again. One thing that we do not want to do is think about all the things that could go wrong. Why would you want to think about that? Why would you want to think about all of the things that could go wrong? That does not help your growth. That's not going to help your rebrand. That's not going to help you at all. If you constantly think about all of the things that could go wrong in this process, you are only going to hold yourself back, and you're going to look back in December of 2025, and you're going to be like, man, I could have done more. You know, I could have done more if I would have just believed that I could. Ask yourself, what if it all works out? What if it all works out? That's something that I have been trying to constantly remind myself throughout my process is, what if this all works out and I get the exact life that I've been wanting to live? So you have to constantly keep that at the front of your mind. Your brain will try to convince you that you are no good, nothing else, nothing ever works out for you, nothing happens, all this kind of thing, this person's passing you and all this kind of stuff. You have to really grab a hold on your thoughts and say, hey, come back to me, okay? You have to train your mind to think about the positive, because what if it all works out? Then you got your dream life. Then you're able to do the things that you've always wanted to do. Think about all of the positive things that could come from this change versus like, oh, how hard it's going to be. Shifting your perspective is always going to work out for your benefit. One thing about it, the human body is capable of doing so much that we don't even know, and especially our brain. Your brain will believe everything that you tell it. A lot of the times you need to step outside of your reality and think about all of the things that could possibly happen. You need to step outside of your 3D. And if people tell you, oh, come to reality, or you need to, no, I don't. Because especially if your reality is not looking the way you want it to look, why would I want to be over there when I could think about all of the good things that could happen from me shifting my perspective? Because the reason why a lot of people allow fear and they allow other people's opinions to affect where they are in life. But you have to say, okay, if you want to stay in the reality, that's fine. You can stay there. But I'm going to be over here because I'm going to be thinking about all of the good things that could happen from me shifting my perspective. And it's not even about pretending or acting. I might even change the word from acting like the person you want to become to be the person that you want to become, because this is not an act. This is who you truly are, and you wouldn't have these thoughts about you living differently, or you doing things differently, or you owning that business or starting that business, or you traveling, or you doing things different, or you handling your finances different, or you going to school, or just being an influencer. You wouldn't have those thoughts if it wasn't possible for you. So you have to step outside of what's going on in your day-to-day life, because sometimes that can be so hard, especially if you have a lot going on. And believe me, I understand. I have been through a lot in my life, so believe me, I get it. And it is hard sometimes, especially for those people who say like they never have self-doubt or those type of thoughts. That is such a blessing, because especially if you come from a traumatic background, sometimes that can be hard to do. Okay, so I get it when I say like it can be difficult to shift your mind and perspective, but you have to grab a hold of your thoughts. Okay, you have to grab a hold of them, because they're gonna keep overflowing. Like, just imagine like you're doing like a science project and everything is like overflowing. It's just constantly overflowing. That's what our thoughts do if you allow it. But instead, you need to contain those thoughts and put a lid on it. Yep, no, we're not doing this today. Like if your mind is telling you like bad things, or telling you things that you know that God said was for you, and that your mind is telling you the opposite, put a lid on those thoughts, okay? Speaking of our thoughts, my next tip would be master your self-concept, okay? How you view yourself is such an important thing because it's gonna affect how you show up in the world. It's gonna affect your confidence. It's gonna affect how you feel about you. It's gonna affect how, if somebody says something to you, whether it stays with you or it rolls off. Your self-concept is a key factor in your glow up, in your rebrand, because you wanna have a high self-concept. You wanna feel good about you. Every time you look in the mirror, even if your body isn't the way you want it to be or the way you desire it to be in this very moment, be okay with that and say, I'm working on me. And every day you look in that mirror, I look good and I'm working on me. You know, even if it isn't the way you want it to be, or even if life isn't the way you want it to be, look at yourself in the highest form, okay? And this is gonna take practice, like I said, especially if you've been through a lot of traumatic things in your life. You know, I'm not one of those girls who be like, oh, I never had a self-doubt, or I never had an insecurity, or I never thought like this. That's not me. I'm not gonna say that story because I get it. People have things that come up in life that are traumatic, or it could be how you grew up, it could be a relationship, it could be just your relationship with yourself that makes you feel that way. It could even just be down to your hormones that kind of changes and alters your self-concept. But you have to work on that so that you can feel like you are that girl, because you are. And these tips are going to help you become her, okay? This is the road to becoming her, and it's not always going to be pretty. Sometimes you're going to have to sit with yourself in tears just to get yourself together. And I will always encourage you guys to do is really focus on your relationship with you, because that is going to be the most important relationship that you have, because it will keep you grounded, it will keep you focused, and it will also keep your spirits high. Because if you know that you look good, or if you know that you feel good about yourself, nothing anyone can tell you about you will sit with you. The only time something sits with you is if you feel that way about yourself, and you have to make sure that you are cultivating that strong relationship with you, because that is going to keep you grounded throughout this glow up journey. It's going to keep you grounded throughout your rebrand. The thing is, other people can have their viewpoints about you and who they think that you are, but if you are grounded within yourself, there is nothing that anyone can tell you that will sit down and resonate with you, okay? And that's the thing. So cultivating that strong relationship with yourself is going to be an important step within your glow up journey and your rebrand and becoming her in 2025, because that's one thing I want for you guys. I want for all of us, including myself, is to become her. Whoever her or whoever she is to you, become that, okay? Not just acting like it, be her. Become her, be her, show up as her. Even when you don't feel like it, show up as that girl, because you know that you are. And I know that this will resonate with somebody, so I'm looking at you, girl, okay? Show up as the person that you know that you are meant to be, and that is gonna be the thing that changes your life. And I promise you, come back to this video at the end of 2025 and you're gonna be like, man, I actually did those things, and I'm actually living that life that I said I was gonna give myself. Even if it's only 5 things off your vision board that you accomplish, that is okay too. You're actually taking the step to be active and actually do what you said that you were gonna do. Keep those promises. Speaking of keeping those promises, that means that you have to take action. We're not just gonna talk the talk. We're not just gonna say, oh, I wanna do this. Take action on those dreams, okay? Dreams are not just gonna bounce off the vision board and just poof and come into your life. Even though I wish it was that simple, I wish that we could just, you know, put our thoughts and what we want, and then boom, it's there, and we have to do no work. No, you actually have to take action. You actually have to show up, and you actually have to do what it takes to get to that step. But the thing is, when you're putting in that action, especially if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in God, he's always gonna meet you, okay? You may feel like you don't even have the capacity to do certain things, but he's gonna meet you where you are. One thing about it, if you don't take any action, I can guarantee you that none of your goals are gonna come to life. You have to actually take those steps. So if you say you wanna work on something, actually do it. If you say you wanna start that business, go get your LLC, okay? It costs $100, go get your LLC, go ahead and get that started. Make those sacrifices, you know, even if you have to make a sacrifice and say, hey, I'm not gonna eat out this week, I'm gonna actually use that to fund my business, or hey, I'm actually gonna go back to school. Go do that. Do what you said that you were gonna do. And when you're taking this action, another thing about being intentional, you have to be very choosy about what you choose to listen to, what you choose to watch, who you choose to be around, okay? Those are gonna be key things when you're taking action towards your goals, because if you are always a consumer and not a producer, you have to produce, okay? You can't just consume, or be on social media all day and think that that's gonna get you closer to your dreams, or see other influencers living their dream life, and meanwhile you're watching and scrolling and liking, and you're in May. and you have not posted one video. You know, you have to actually take action so that you can get to those goals, because that is the only way things are going to come, is if you take the action. Because it's one thing to believe in yourself, but if you operate on that belief and the action and you put it together, you will be powerful. Okay, you will be powerful, and you will be so magnetic. You will be attracting opportunities into your life, because not only are you aligning yourself mentally to accept and to welcome in those opportunities, but you are also putting in the work. Okay, you can't not put in the work. A lot of people try to skip the work. I'm not even a believer in you have to work hard. You will never hear me talk about that on my channel, because you do not have to work hard to get where you want to be. There comes to a point where certain things just align and flow into your life, and only certain people are going to get this message. Okay, some people, this may go over their head, they may dismiss this point, and that's fine. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. But I am a firm believer if you put the work in, and you are smart and you are diligent, and not only if you are meticulous about what you are trying to do, and you are planning it out, and you're actually taking the steps, because sometimes people are working so hard and then you burn out. Then what? Now you're taking months away from doing something. If you would have just kept that steady pace and really just work at the momentum that is good for you, not at the momentum of what society pushes out or tells you that you need to stay up all night. Work at the momentum that is good for you. Time will pass you by. If you constantly say, okay, I'm just gonna work, you wake up and it's 5 years later and you're still not at your dream, because you're not being intentional about what it is that you said that you wanted. You have to be intentional, and then you have to take action. That goes back to my point number one. Focusing on you will eliminate all the competition, all the distractions, all the naysayers, all the people that's telling you, oh, you gotta grind, you gotta work harder. Focus on you, work at the momentum that is good for you, and I promise you, you're gonna get everything that you desire in 2025. My next tip is to tap into your strengths, okay? But figure out what you're good at. If you're good at public speaking, if you're good at speaking to people and talking to people, but you also like to do, get ready with me's, figure out how to integrate those two together and maximize that, because it's going to help you propel to your growth. If you know that you're good at reading and studying, and that is your thing, and you want to go back to school, do that, okay? And use that as your strength to propel you to your next step. You have to tap into your strength in order to tap into your higher self. That is going to unlock the door so that you can get those opportunities. While you're tapping into those strengths, develop discipline and consistency, okay? I didn't realize how much discipline, you guys, matters. You have to have discipline in your life. If you do not have discipline, you will not reach those goals. If you do not have discipline, you will constantly be letting yourself down, and you may be attracting those type of people into your life. We may complain about, oh, we don't have people that actually show up for ourselves, but you have to ask yourself, do you show up for you? Do you keep those promises that you tell to yourself? I didn't realize how much keeping your promises is such an important thing to build your confidence that you can do something. Even personally, for myself, for example, I struggled with confidence probably like earlier in 2023 into 2022. And I felt like it was because I was not keeping those promises that I said to myself. If you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to show up and I'm going to go to the gym Monday through Friday, and you didn't show up at all, how confident are you going to be that you can actually do something? If you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to show up and go to the gym, and I'm also going to get me an LLC this week. Not doing those things is only going to diminish your confidence more and more and more. And then you'll feel like, man, I feel so insecure. I feel like I can't do anything, because you're not keeping those promises that you make to yourself. You can't expect a man or a woman, if you're dating somebody, you can't expect them to show up for you. And of course, there are some nuances to this. A lot of the times, the people that you meet are a mirror of yourself. They may come in a different shape, a different form, but it's a mirror of who you are. So if you are meeting people that are not able to show up and commit to you the way that you want them to, are you lacking commitment in your own personal life? Sometimes you have to take a step back. Of course, like I said, there are nuances to that. People are people. Sometimes you may encounter somebody that they just them. Okay, they're just them, and that's just who they are. Actually take some time to become self-aware and really analyze who you are, and are you actually doing the things that you said that you were going to do? And if the answer is no, figure out how you can change that and adjust some of the decisions that you're making so that you can become a more confident person, become more self-assured. Because the more you tell yourself that you're going to do something and you don't do it, it depletes that confidence. I have 2 more tips for you guys for your ultimate rebrand in 2025. Don't be afraid to try, okay? Don't be afraid to be seen trying. The only failures that are out there in the world are the ones who are failing to try. Okay, the people that are telling you, oh, you look stupid posting that content, or that's so cringe, those people, Those are the failures. The ones who are not doing what they said they was gonna do, and they are critical and criticizing you. Those are the failures. Don't be afraid to be seen trying. I don't care if you get 100 views. I don't care if you get 5 likes. I don't care if you have $5 or if you have $500,000 or $5 million. Don't be afraid to be seen trying to strive to do something. Everybody thinks it's funny or everybody thinks it's cringe until it happens and it works out. Okay? Everybody thinks you look crazy until you're actually living that life that you said that you was gonna live. Let that sink in, okay? Don't be afraid to be seen, and don't be afraid to be seen trying. You may not always get it right the first time. It may take you 10 attempts to do something that you want to do to get it right. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But you have to make that up in your mind, whether it takes 5 years, 5 months, 5 days to get something done. Actually take that into your mind. Say, hey, I'm gonna keep trying until I get it. Until I have that, I gotta have that. I need that. I want that. Until I get it, I'm gonna keep trying, okay? And that's not me saying, like, if you know something isn't working for you or working out for you at all. Like, if you see some type of glimpse of like, hey, this could actually work out, keep working at it, you know? Now, if you get to trying something for, 5, 6 years, then who knows, on year 7, it may actually work out. But you have to figure out, are you willing to take the time to actually invest in yourself and actually show up as the woman that you want to be? Are you willing to take the time? You have to ask yourself, what amount of time am I willing to sacrifice in order to get to this thing, But don't be afraid to be seen trying. That is one of my main things for 2025. However it looks to other people, that doesn't matter, okay? Do you and focus on you. Focus on where you want to go. The rest will just work out perfectly. Last and final tip to becoming your best self in 2025 will have to be track your progress. This video is being filmed December 23rd. We have about 8 days, I think about 8 days before the new year starts. You have plenty of time to get your vision board together. Get it printed out. Even if you're not able to print it out right now, instead of printing it out, put it on your computer. If you don't have a computer, write down what you want. Write down your vision board. Every quarter, I want to take some specific goals that I have from my vision board, put it on a bingo card. So basically, you'll just X off what you actually accomplished, because that's going to help you keep track and keep record of like, okay, I'm actually doing something. Because sometimes you're always raising the bar for yourself and you may feel like I'm not even getting nowhere. But the whole time you've reached 5, 6 goals on your list before it even may hit, So actually tracking your goals is going to be essential into you becoming your best self in 2025. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope your rebrand journey is everything that you have desired. I hope that 2025 gives you clarity, gives you abundance, and actually welcomes in her for you. And I hope it's the beginning of an exciting chapter in your life. And I hope that you guys just have a great 2025. I'm sure you guys will see me a few more times before 2025. It's been about a month since we've actually sat down and talked, but this felt so good. I really feel like it was some moments in here, y'all, I feel like I was gonna cry, because I really feel like I was not only speaking to myself, but I know for sure I was speaking to someone watching this video. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy your day. I hope you enjoy your year, whatever time frame that you're watching this video. I hope it sticks with you. I hope it resonates with you. Whatever doesn't work or whatever doesn't resonate, throw it out, okay? I am just here to share my experience and share my tips, and I just want to share it with you guys and take you guys on the journey with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on the road to 50K subscribers, almost at 30K, so I'm so excited. I'm so blessed, and I'm so thankful. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.